conventional deadlift is a simulated jump. The mechanics and muscles used in order to perform the conventional deadlift are the same as jumping. You load up your glutes, hamstrings, and you jump. What you want to do is you want the same foot distance apart that you would take when performing a jump. And that's about kind of slightly inside of shoulder width. You want to be flexing your glutes and your hamstrings when you're just standing up straight. That's how you know that you're in close enough and you're tight. For me, that is slightly inside with my shins lined up, kind of inside of the bare part of the bar. What you want to do is you want to reach down, grab the bar, and fill your core with air. This is going to put you kind of over your toes, and you're going to feel yourself go onto your toes a little bit. And when you fill your core up, you want to expand your stomach and then get ready to get punched in the stomach. This is proper bracing for deadlifts. So you take your air, and what you want to do is you want to pinch your scaps and bring them down. So you basically, you get real tight up on the bar. Next, you want to drive your knees forward over the bar, and you want to lean back so that you are bringing the weight of the bar in the middle of your foot to the heel of your foot. You basically slam your heels down and you drive through the middle of your foot to perform the deadlift. You want to keep a straight spine, so you want to tuck your chin and basically try to give yourself a double chin so that you're not rounding in any weird spots in your neck. Rounding does happen in the back at heavy loads, but it's where the rounding happens that is negative. The upper back is usually where the rounding happens, but if you have any sort of lumbar or lower back rounding, that's when you get into trouble. That's when you herniate discs. That's when you get injured while performing the deadlift. Having a proper brace in your core will prevent that lower back rounding, and having your lats properly set before you start deadlifting is how you're going to have a healthy deadlift going on. So let's go through the steps. You set your feet, grab the bar, you take your breath, drive your knees forward, and pull through the middle of your foot to your heels. So let's do it faster now, more real time. Let's look at it from a side view. Common things you need to look out for while performing the deadlift, if you take a video and watch it back, are three major things going on. If your hips start to rise before the bar does, you need to get tighter on the bar. Your brace is too soft, your lats are not set, and the bar is pulling you forward onto your toes. The other two things are your knees and your hips locking out. They need to lock out approximately around the same time. That means that you're pulling from the correct area, the middle of your foot to your heels. If one or the other is locking out before the other, that likely means that you're going onto your toes. Usually that'll mean that your knees are locking out a lot more before your hips, and it turns the deadlift into a stiff leg deadlift, which you got all these hamstrings, these glutes, these quads acting. A stiff leg deadlift is highly dependent on the erectors, which is smaller than all those other muscles put together. So you want to properly deadlift. To save your back, you want to be pulling from the correct areas. You want to have the correct pressure on the floor. You want to be tight in your lats, your core, your glutes, your hamstrings. Everything needs to be firing on all cylinders, because deadlift is highly dependent on the setup. Everything that happens after the setup is because your setup was incorrect. So you have to set up correctly in order to have a good deadlift. That is very important in conventional, but even more so when it comes to sumo.